On this week's Loud and Proud podcast, episode 103, Call of Duty with Niall Conlon. The O'Connell's Maverick phones in from the GA stronghold that is the South Lebanon, where he's currently serving in the Irish Army. Niall lets us in on a day's service. We pick a Louth Army team, the secret behind why they create the footballers that they do in Castlebellinhgam. And we also chat O'Connell's championship chances, and of course I put him on the spot at the end, which some Mochta's fans might want to listen out for. Don't forget to subscribe and follow all my social channels for a special announcement in the coming weeks. But first, here's a shortened intro. Joining me now on the line, serving his country overseas, like he served O'Connell's many a wet day in Castlebellingham, it's Niall Conlon.
How are you doing, Dan?
Whereabouts are you, Niall?
I'm currently serving in the Lebanon, the south of Lebanon.
Right, and how long have you been there?
Just short of 8 months at the minute. Usually it's a 6-month deployment, but with COVID we were extended to just short of an extra 2 months. I think it's 7 weeks or 7 months and 3 weeks, I think I've done extra.
Oh, right, so you had to do extra time. Jesus.
Yeah.
I'd say that was, like you're doing a double lockdown as such.
Yeah. I suppose the decision was made by the government at home, that we weren't going to carry from another country back into, I suppose it was just taking away all the risk factors and unfortunately then we got extended out here for a few more weeks.
She's I say that was hard. Was it hard in the family and that at home?
Yeah, look, I suppose, since November that I've been here, we've pretty much been straight into routine. So, as I said, the news was a bit of a blow to myself personally, but as I suppose at home is a wee bit worse, as, like everybody at home was kind of off work and, it was a bit easier for me to deal with it. Here, I said that the issue was out of my hands. I had no control over. I couldn't exactly just say I wanted to go home. But I suppose, it would have been a lot tougher for family and friends and close ones at home. And
so it's similar to us with lockdown. You have a routine there, do you? Like, what's the day to day? What's the crack during the day then?
Yeah, well, I'm out with the engineer platoon because I'm qualified in a trade. So basically, day to day is maintenance of the camp for us. As I can't speak for too many of the other companies on what they do day to day, but just basically maintenance of the camp and is what we're out here to look after.
Right. So, are you maintaining the football career? Have you an O'Neill's ball out there with you?
I had planned to, when I got home on my leave to bring one back out of me, but I actually never got home on. You get a 3-week stint of leave, but I never got mine. Mine was cancelled. So no, I haven't got really too much hands on the O'Neill's ball. I suppose it's like a volleyball out here is basically what I'm using.
And is there any footballers out there you can play with even? Is there any local footballers with you or anything?
Yeah, look, there's a few inter-county lads out. I think Peter Cunningham from Offaly, I've seen him about.
Oh yeah.
Paul Murphy for the Kilkenny hurler is he's out there helping jump on the back of any of their training, and I've kind of just tried to stick to it with that.
Oh yeah, we actually played against Peter Cunningham in that Leinster run there at the end of last year. Good player,
yeah,
really good player. But there's a ton of army lads on the local scene, isn't there?
In Louth,
yeah. Because I was going through it. Well, you might actually have to help me out. I picked an army team off my head, but I'm missing a goalie. But we've the likes of yourself up front, you've Fisher and Gary Mulligan, two of Matney's lads. I don't know whether Gary Mulligan's still playing. Crawley full forward. Gary Shevlin from the Gales, another one. Keith Arnold from the Blues, put him in the corner. Brian Commode.
Ollie's there. Brian Commode, Jackie Agnew, Stuart Osborne, they're O'Connell's lads, Keith Woods.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so we have
Derek Rogers.
We have a fair few.
And then O'Mahony's have a few more.
Derek Rogers.
Barry O'Brien, Dulla, Maloney.
Yeah, just strong enough little team.
Yeah. You have a goalie for me, no? So is there any?
Sean O'Hare from Roach, I think. And
right.
Jamie O'Hare as well. They're
grand.
They're the only goalkeepers I can think of.
That's a full team. I was going to put Keith Woods in goals.
Yeah, his legs are gone now anyway.
Come here, you did kind of well in a way that you're not missing out much football.
Yeah, I was actually due to get home. I don't think I was actually going to miss too much had the trip had stayed the same that it was meant to be, because my leave was actually planned for the beginning of the league. I think I was due to only miss 3 league games. It's just the way that it worked out. But now, in fact, I've missed very little.
Jeez, yeah.
If not, I know I missed a couple of winter league games. But
And are you training away? Like, would you be in the gym and that, or would you be out running most of it? Like as your
yeah, well, within the camp we have look, there's plenty of area to run. There's plenty of hills within the camp to get a bit of speed walk in, and then we do have access to a gym. So yeah, look, it's in order to break up a bit of the evenings. You know, I wouldn't say I've been in the gym all that much, but now that the end is in sight and the football is going to be starting that back up when I get home, I kind of started in the last 3 or 4 weeks to get a bit of work done.
Has the army made you a better footballer, Niall?
I suppose early on in my career, I probably would have lacked maybe a bit of discipline, as in not as I was never getting sent off all that much. But yeah, I suppose the club scene, and we actually run at home throughout the year. There's be an army competition, you know, and it's quite similar in levels. Like, you know, you kind of have to, as you said, that team you named, I would have played with a lot of them lads within the Dundalk barracks, like when I was based up there, and look, I wouldn't as much say as it made me a better footballer. It was great to be within a job that, you know, you have the flexibility to go and play football in the army. Like.
And was it always on your radar? I know you said you have a qualification there. Was it always on your radar to go into the army, or was it recession, or what made you want to represent your country?
Well, I went to college, and when I came out of college, it was in around the time of the recession, and yeah, look, I had it in my sight. As I said, it mightn't have been my number one priority, but when the recession came, I had two of my very good friends, Jackie Agnew and Stuart Osborne, were already after going down the career path of the army, and I suppose they kind of opened my eyes to it a wee bit, and I said I'd give it a go, and then look, ever since then I've loved it. You know, it's something that I see myself that I got my apprenticeship, and you could say that a lot of lads maybe would consider leaving after getting the apprenticeship. It's still in my long-term plans to stay where I am. I enjoy it, like so.
Yeah, like, and you can see there, like, the fitness of those boys, like you mentioned, like Liam Dullahan and Maloney, and then even Jackie Agnew's done. Did he do 100k there in one day?
Yes, that's right. I was going to give a shout out to him there. He done 100 kilometres for one day in one day for Brent Breast Cancer Ireland, and from what I've seen, I think he's raised a lot of money there. So a lot of credit has to go to him. I suppose a lot of the lads jumped in and gave him a hand. I've seen a couple of pictures and a few videos where he wasn't out running on his own. He had a lot of support, but 100 kilometres in one day is serious to him.
And knowing Jackie, he probably does it in one game. Looking at him,
yeah. Well, I wouldn't say he had to train all that much for it. The man's a natural animal. His fitness is just, it's incredible to see.
There's another army man that gets real folklore in Louth, and that's Wayne Callan, because you hear horror stories of when he takes over teams. He's just a savage trainer, is he?
Yeah. So again, with the club this year, I'm not sure. I talked to a couple of lads, and by all accounts, they're loving Wayne's training. I actually had the pleasure of working with Wayne many moons ago. He was a Louth minor trainer when I was a Louth minor, so I know exactly what Wayne will offer, and it's definitely, I'd imagine that before the lockdown had kicked in, a lot of it was fitness-based training, and I'm sure leading up to the league after the long layoff, it would be safe to say that maybe everybody didn't continue their training structure up. Like, so I'm sure at the minute he's trying to get a bit of miles into the legs.
He'd whip them back up to speed fairly quickly. And are the London boys back? Are they all committed this year?
I'm not 100% sure on what they're at. Again, I try to, my own saying and own sanity here, I try to limit the information I was getting so that I wouldn't be missing it as much if I wanted to constantly be involved from here, I'd be saying, "Geez, I'd love to be getting home for training tonight," and whatnot. So I'm not exactly sure. As far as I know, because he's a cousin of mine, and I'd be chatting, is Robbie Quigley's he's definitely up training. I suppose, look, he was with London. He went over to London and that there, but he's still training with us last year. He always trains with us.
Okay, you create a lot of maverick footballers out there, the likes of yourself, Quigley, Keane, Stanos. What's in the water in Castlebellingham? How are you creating all these kind of street footballers or mavericks?
Yeah, I'm not too sure now if I could be classing myself in the calibre of the lads that you're after naming, but I'd say a lot of them lads would have all been in the primary school when Terry Doherty was involved, and it was as simple as this: if you were a boy in school, in primary school, once you hit third class, whether you wanted to or not, you played football, and that was Terry Doherty. Motto. You had to go and at least try and play football, and I think that's what bred the success. Is everybody came up, the club came involved, got in with the school, and as soon as you hit your 8, 9, 10, you were up training with the club, and it was just that's the way it went.
Class, right? So he's that's kind of the thing everyone wants to kind of do now, is get immersed in the schools. But you'll be looking at the Joes. You'll be eyeing up the Joes and the Gales this year in the championship. Local rivals.
I believe it. I seen from the fixtures, we actually played the Joes in our first league game, which is only a couple of weeks prior to when we're due to make the championship. So look, it's always with us and the Joes. It's it's a huge rivalry. We're really close parishes, and on nights out, you'll always run into somebody from the Joes. The Joes will always read in somebody from the O'Connells. There'd be a lot of lads there that I'd be very friendly with. But look, when you cross that white line, your friendship just has to go on hold for a couple of minutes.
And then the Gales as well. You'd have a kind of a relationship with the Gales, I suppose, with a couple of those Army lads as well.
Yeah, look, down through the years as well, we always have great battles with ourselves and the Gales. And I suppose with the championship group now, there's the Wayne McKeever connection.
Yes, I was just going to say
that should be interesting. I'm sure not for Wayne. Probably won't be overly interesting for Wayne, but as I said, everybody's looking forward to it. I'm sure everybody wants to be playing championship football, and I suppose we're just delighted that it's actually going ahead when it was up in the air for so long.
Yeah, I know you might have got a setback with being extended, but you must have got a serious boost when you heard there's championship happening when you come home.
Yeah, definitely, 100%. It's my biggest passion is Gaelic football, and if I'm playing it or watching it. So that's what was the big thing. Was the scary thing was maybe thinking I was coming home to absolutely nothing. You base your summers and your the start of autumn all around football. As I said, usually every year when the championship comes around, from a Friday night to a Sunday, you're in some sort of loud at a football game.
Yeah, you're actually great. I know the Grove hosts a lot of games, but you're the type of club I see a lot of the lads at most games around the county. It's not the case for most clubs, but you'd be going to Dunleer most weekends at Championship, or down to RD, or maybe Hagerstown as well.
Yeah, look, it's something that within the club, we're all extremely passionate about, and there's whether the game is insignificant from an O'Connell's point of view, it doesn't matter. You can always go and watch these games and watch certain players and say, they have, even though they're not in our group, they're not in our tier, or you could be down watching a junior championship game and do something that just sparks and say, they move the ball very well, or
So you're picking notes, and you're taking notes in your head, or your mental notes. Never stop learning.
Yeah, no, look, it's a broad knowledge of the game is what you're after, is especially what I'm after, and I don't think there's any player out there that could say that they're a complete player, or every time you go and watch a football match, you have 60 minutes to pick at least one bit of information up out of it. That's the way it is.
And do you think
that's the way I attack it?
Yeah, with the championship this year, with it'll be 5 rounds if you get to the final in about 6 weeks. You nearly fancy your chances with the forwards you have, though. You could make serious inroads and win the thing.
Yeah, look, as every year we go out, and since I've been up there, I've 16 or 17 season, played with the first team now. And like, it doesn't matter what grade we're in, like we always think we have a fighting chance. I know some results down through the years. I remember a couple of years ago we got absolutely tackled by the Martins. But going into that game, we treated it as every other game that I've ever went into. That on our day, if we turn it on and turn up, that we're capable of beating anybody.
That's what makes this championship really exciting for me. I think it won't be. There'll be obviously the factor of COVID, but the short term turnaround as well. There's gonna be sparks. There's gonna be unpredictable results. So that's where I'm coming from anyway, and you're probably the same.
Yeah, you look the last every other year you've played, you're dealing with, you could have maybe 4 or 5 games in a winter league competition, and you might have 10 rounds of a league played off, and you've all that to gauge on. And usually, the pundits themselves will have a favourite set, and this is who I think is going to win. And 9 times out of 10, that goes on your league form and how you've been playing and how people have seen you. This one is going to be run a bit differently, because you're only going to get 2 games where you see what a team's at or what they're doing, and then you're heading straight into the championship. So I think it's more exciting. I'm kind of looking forward, as I said. I suppose every player that loves football loves an underdog shot. And when we play in the senior championship, although we might have a strong enough team, when you go and you look at your Blues and your Martins, Geraldines, Neelys, Dreadnoughts, all these lads, we would probably be classed as an underdog. But in this, an underdog always has a fighting chance.
Yeah, you're great at ripping up the form book out there. I have to say, I would often maybe tip again you and you make me look foolish. But come here, you mentioned winning championships there. All right, I'm going to put you on the spot now, just to finish up. Which intermediate title win was better for you? 2012 or 2017?
Do I have to give a straight answer or a detailed one?
A detailed one, yeah. No, it's not a quick fire one.
I have mixed emotions about the 2 finals, because in 2012 I was actually captain, but I picked up a knock. I done my medial just before half time, and I tried to carry on, couldn't carry on, and I had to come off. And then in 2017 I actually got the full game out of it. So if I had to be with a gun to my head, I'd probably say 2012, because the previous years before that we suffered such heartbreak, and then just to finally get, it was 24 years since the club had won a championship, and I suppose that was the major factor that I'd probably, if I had a gun to my head, I'd say 2012.
And you're getting to lift the cup as well, of course.
Yeah, that was also special. It's a moment that'll never be taken away from you.
What about the celebrations? Which celebrations would you pick, 2012 or 2017?
Well, that's a straight answer for me. It was 2012. I don't think 2012 will ever be better on the celebration front.
You were drinking to numb the pain, were you?
Yeah. Well, we had a Leinster campaign that.
Oh yeah.
That was I think it was only 2 weeks after it, but as I said, I was out for the rest of the season, so the boys had to go back training, whereas I took a bit of an extended trip.
Class. Just another one here, just before we finish. Actually, on that campaign, I always remember that game you had in 2017 against the Carlow team. Was it the Carlow team where there was 100 red cards and 20 yellow cards?
Yeah.
That was just crazy.
Yeah, Kilbride, I think we did.
Yes, Kilbride.
Yeah, that was probably the strangest game I've ever played in. And I said it on the day after the game. I suppose, the only problem was, I think, that the referee issued out a couple of early yellow cards that probably didn't need to be, and it put himself under a wee bit of pressure. As everybody that wasn't at that game that spoke to me about it would say, Jesus, what went on? It must have been the dirtiest game in Gaelic football I've ever seen. And in truth, there was I'd say out of the 10 red cards, I'd say 2 of them might have been for striking. I'd say that was about it, and the rest was just 2 second yellow cards. So
It was probably Sid. It was Sid the only one that struck someone, was it? He was the first to go nearly, was he?
I think, yeah. Now he would kill me for saying this, but I think Sean Conley at the very end was striking defence.
Oh yeah. Connolly's back as well, isn't he? I think I heard.
Yeah, I'm not too sure. I know that
Yeah.
Sean moved over to London and was working. But as far as I know now, he's back home, and I think he has been up at a couple of trainings, just talking to the lads. I think he has.
That's great stuff. And one more question, Niall, before I leave you back to your work. If you had to play for one other club in Louth, who would you play for?
Really, well, I'm after building a house out in the Stonetown Louth Village area. The lads at home, I'm always getting constantly slagged that I'm gonna hand in the transfer request to the Mochtas.
Jeez, that would be some transfer.
Who would I play with? Yeah, look, I'll say, look, I'm gonna hang myself out here, and I'll go with, if I had to transfer to one other team, it'd probably be the Mochtas.
Jesus, right. Get the transfer out now, lads. Come here. One more thing, actually. I never asked you about Louth. Is that something you want another crack at when you come home, or are you fed up with it? What happened, and how you never just really got a crack at it with injuries and what have you?
Yeah, I suppose, look, you can never say never. I suppose I got in with it under teams, and I worked my way up to a minor and under 21, and then of course in 2010 I was only 21 and I was on the panel, and I felt after that in 2012 I know I hit the injury, but I was playing quite well, and I was probably playing some of my best football in 2012, 2013, 2014, and I was never getting as much as a sniff or a look, and I had completely put it at the back of my head. And I suppose 2017 went quite well for me, and I got my shot, and then had to go for a wrist operation, which cancelled me out then, and for the 20th season. And then look, I give it a go in 2019 again, and it just didn't go. I had a lot of work commitments on too, and I was missing a bit of training, and look, I'd never say never, but it's not something that I'm overly pushing myself towards. As I said, look, it'd be great to get in and work with Wayne again. I have the utmost respect for Wayne. I've seen him firsthand down through the years. He's been selected. I played with him. He's been a selector with the club. He was a selector with Louth, and now he's the manager. And he, especially from a Castlebellinhgam point of view, he's the full backing from all of us. And look, it'd be great to work with him again. But as I said, my main aim when I get home is to try and help the club out and do what I can do from there. It's just not something in my eye line anymore. I'll be 32 by the time next year starts.
Not a slog. Well, Niall, I look forward to seeing you when you get home, on and off the field. And thanks for taking the time out of your busy workload over there in the Lebanon to take the call. Wish you all the best. Chat to you, Niall.
Yeah, cheers. Thanks very much, Dan.
Really, really enjoyed that chat with Niall. He was very good with his time. As you can tell, a student of the game, such a hard man to tackle. You can see it in the sleeve of the photo, the artwork I have for this podcast. You can see me, that's me actually trying to catch him, but he's so loose, so slippy. Such a good low centre of gravity and balance. So it makes him, probably the hardest man to tackle in Louth football. But it's only from chatting to lads around the county to realise the depth of knowledge that there is around this county, and Niall was not an exception to that. Also, I couldn't believe how surprisingly good the line was, considering he's 5,500 kilometres away. So it's unreal, the technology these days, and that's one thing that has been opened up in the time that we've had this past weird times in COVID land. Okay, so here's the Army team again in full. And before I get, just listening back, before I get any emails, I know Dave Maloney is not a Manny's man. He is, of course, a proud Dundalk Gales man. So here it is. Here's the team. In goals, Jamie O'Hare from Roche Emmets. Going to go Barry O'Brien, right full back. Sean O'Mahony's. Liam Dullahan, full back. O'Mahony's as well. Keith Wood, left full. Left full from the O'Connells. Another O'Connell's man. Stuart Osborne, right half back. Then Jackie Agnew, centre half back. Both O'Connell's men. Left half back, Dave Maloney from the Dundalk Gales. Brian Commode from the Blues in the middle of the field with Derek Rogers from the Young Irelanders. On the wing is Stephen Fisher from the O'Mahony's. Niall Conlon on the 40. Gary Shevlin from the Dundalk Gales, free taker with the Gales last year, long range free taker of 50s. Keith Arnold's in the corner from the Blues, Knicks, maybe, and he might have transferred back. Full forward, big man Crawley from the O'Mahony's. And in the corner, I think it's Gary Mulligan from the O'Mahony's as well. Not too sure, still waiting to find out if Gary's still playing or not. I don't think he is. But I think there's John Sharkey, and I think Niall mentioned Sean O'Hare as well. Not a bad team, very fit, obviously, strong. If they're allowed enter loud competitions, they wouldn't be far off at all, I'd say. Have Niall and I left anyone out? I do not know, but contact me on the social feed or email me on dan@loudandproud.com to let me know if I have, and I'll include it next week. Also coming up next week is the anniversary of the Loudmead saga, so I'm going to do something on that. I'm going to go into it. Maybe it's going to be called the earthquake of the Joe Sheridan earthquake. How we were affected from that game 10 years on, and what's happened in the past decade. Could it be down to that significant moment of what Joe did to us and what happened on the day to us, what Ludden did to us? It's not going to be like, it's not going to go ins and out what should have happened. It's just what could be consequential of it, like maybe the symptoms of what happened on the day. So yeah, I'm going to do something like that. A couple of thoughts, a couple of ideas. So that'll be next Sunday. Later on in the month, of a special Stephen White interview. Also, I'm delighted to say I sat down and had a chat with Stephen, so that'll be coming in the next couple of weeks. Yeah, stay tuned, I suppose, and follow and subscribe wherever you get your podcasts. Thanks all for listening, and I'll see you all again next Sunday night, please God, with another episode of the Loud and Proud podcast. Talk to you.
Like an underdog always has a fighting chance. But in this, like an underdog always has a fighting chance.